funds will allow GGC to expand our STEM learning communities, and this is not just STEM in general, but specific to health sciences, much needed expansion there, science across the board, and of course, information technology. And our students will have the opportunity to work in teams. Collaboration, we know, is so important. And in those teams, in living and learning, we hope and we expect that they will expand their intellectual, physical, emotional, and social capacity as learners and ultimately leaders within their groups and beyond. Because we know this, and we know this for sure, GGC is committed to high academic standards, integrity, ethics, social responsibility, and above all else, lifelong learning. And these funds will be used, we promise you, to further our commitment and our mission. And I want to tell you a little bit of why they are so important. Because we are the future. U.S. News and World Report recognized GGC as the most ethnically diverse Southern Regional College for 8 consecutive years. And in addition to this distinction, approximately 40% of our students are first-generation college bound. It is critical, therefore, for us to support them in STEM fields. And as we look to the future of Gwinnett and the future of Georgia, and indeed the Southeast region, and this amazing country that is my adopted home, we know that STEM training and support are essential because they are going to be providing students with the skill set to grow and develop and lead in the 21st century. These skill sets are about critical thinking skills, about solving real problems. And we know, as we stand on our 4 pillars I've been sharing about creativity. Creativity, somebody was saying is that you could be creative in solving difficult problems. You are creative in solving all problems. And that's why we're here today, to build on this for our students. Because we have a mission, and we have a vision. And these two, our mission, living every day, and our vision for the future are grounded in our relentless focus on our students' success. We will not waver. And I always ask people to give me money to do what I'm going to do anyhow. And people know I love to beg for GCC students. I wear green every day and I fight for them. Our Congresswoman wore green today. But here's what I know for sure. We would have found a way to do some of this without this funding. But you give people money who have the capacity to do the work, to do it even better. And that's our promise. We will take this fund and we will make sure that it expands on what we do, and GGC will do it even better. Because we know that working with all of you, my colleagues here and my colleagues in the community, that we are going to ensure that our health science, our IT and general science students continue to have access to us and access to affordable, high quality education because they deserve it. So we are so grateful to you, Congresswoman Bourdeax, and we thank you. And I also want everyone who is here to stand with us in our vision and support it, especially in this day of celebration. So now it's my honor and privilege to invite a phenomenal woman to greet us and give us some remarks. Congresswoman Bourdeax, please come to our podium.
Thank you, President Joseph. And being on the shorter side, you won't be able to see me over that. So it is it's a huge honor to be here. And yes, I have the green. I have the dark green too. And I definitely appreciate someone whose purpose and mission is begging for resources and want to be very supportive of that effort. I was a professor at Georgia State University and ran a Center for State and Local Finance, and so I'm very well aware of what it means to be able to get some funding, to be able to advance your vision, and in particular to get funding like this, which is perhaps more unconstrained than a lot of the grant funding, which often comes with a huge number of strings attached. And so I am very honored to be able to support the vision that you all have here. I love Georgia Gwinnett College. I love your mission and the serving of those first generation college students, the very diverse community that you have here is so important for this country, but also very much for Gwinnett and for this community. I remember about 20 years ago being in conversations about education and learning as to what our higher institutions of higher education were doing. And there was so much concern that we weren't graduating enough STEM majors, and even more so in our underserved first generation minority communities. And so that was why this project was so important to me. And what this is $1.45 million to come and help support these living, learning communities where we are able to focus on health sciences and IT and bring along communities that really we need in those sectors for many, many reasons. And so I really appreciate all of the work that you all do here and your vision around this particular project. So with that, without further ado, so they asked me, again, I'm a college professor, and they were like, "You want to do the check?" And I'm like, "Yes, I want to do the check." So President Joseph, you can come up here, and I will present you